God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because this moment is not noise and it is not coincidence." Before the world rushes you forward again, before the screen tempts you to scroll, before your thoughts scatter, pause. Just 1 minute. In that stillness, let your heart breathe. If your love for Jesus is real, you already feel why you're here. Not to be impressed. Not to be pressured. But to be reminded, gently, honestly, deeply, of who He is to you, and who you are to Him. Here is the truth we forget when life gets loud: love for Jesus is not proven by words shouted or posts shared. It is revealed in quiet trust. It shows up when nobody is watching. It lives in the small choices, the soft prayers, the moments when you choose kindness even when you're tired. If your love is real, you don't need to perform it. You carry it. And right now, that love is being invited into rest. Jesus never rushed the broken. He never hurried the hurting. He never shamed the doubting. He walked at the speed of love. He listened more than he demanded. He called people by name, not by their mistakes. If your love for Him is real, it's because you recognize that voice, the one that says, "Come as you are." Not later. Not when you're perfect. Now. Pause and remember the first time your heart softened. Maybe it was in a hard season when nothing made sense. Maybe it was a quiet morning when hope returned without explanation. Maybe it was a single sentence that lifted a weight you'd been carrying for years. That wasn't coincidence. That was love finding you. Real love doesn't always arrive loud. Sometimes it arrives like light through a window, steady, warm, unmistakable. If your love for Jesus is real, you know this: He doesn't trade in fear. He doesn't rule by pressure. He doesn't ask you to become someone else to be welcomed. He invites you to be honest. To be gentle with your own soul. To forgive. To begin again. And again. And again. Grace isn't fragile. It's faithful. Listen closely now. Your faith is not measured by how strong you feel today. It's measured by where you turn when you feel weak. Love is choosing trust when answers are slow. Love is holding on to hope when circumstances argue back. Love is believing that mercy still meets you where you stand. If your love is real, it has survived questions. It has walked through silence. It has learned to breathe even when prayers felt unanswered. Jesus sees the unseen parts of you. The effort no one applauds. The tears you wipe away before anyone notices. The courage it takes to keep going when you're unsure. He sees it all, and He calls it precious. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. Real love doesn't demand a flawless story. It writes redemption into the one you already have. So stay here for this minute. Let peace settle. Let gratitude rise without forcing it. Let the noise fade. This is not about being dramatic. It's about being present. When you slow down, you hear what matters. When you listen closely, you remember why you believe. When you pause, love speaks. And here's the quiet promise that steadies the heart. Nothing you bring to Jesus is too heavy for him, and nothing you've been through disqualifies you from his care. Real love grows in trust, not perfection. It deepens with honesty, not pressure. It lasts because it is anchored in grace. If this moment stirred something true inside you, don't rush past it. Carry it with you. Let it shape how you speak today. Let it soften how you respond. Let it remind you that love, real love, changes how we live, one quiet choice at a time. God says, listen closely, my beloved soul, and stay with this moment a little longer, because what is unfolding here is not meant to rush past your heart. Real love is never hurried. Real love invites you to sit, to breathe, to feel what has been growing quietly inside you for a long time. If your love for Jesus is real, it has been shaped through seasons you never planned, through questions you never thought you would ask, through patience you didn't know you were learning. And yet here you are, still listening, still open, still willing to receive something gentle instead of something loud. There are days when faith feels strong and clear, and there are days when it feels thin, like a single thread holding everything together. Jesus understands both. He never asked you to feel powerful all the time. He asked you to remain honest. When your love is real, it doesn't disappear in weakness, it learns how to lean. It discovers that trust is not about having all the answers, but about knowing where to bring the questions. And every time you bring them to him, something within you steadies, even if circumstances stay the same. Think about how often you have carried burdens quietly. You showed up. You did what was required. You smiled when you needed to. You kept going even when your inner world felt heavy. Jesus has been present in all of it. Not watching from a distance, not measuring your performance, but walking beside you with patience. Love like that does not pressure. It supports. It does not accuse. It restores. If your love for him is real, it is because you have felt that support even when you couldn't explain it. There is a sacred strength in slowing down. When you pause, you begin to notice what truly matters. You remember the moments when peace came without warning. The times when a verse stayed with you all day. The quiet reassurance that arrived right when you needed it most. These moments are not small. They are how love speaks when it doesn't need to shout. They are reminders that you are not walking alone, even when the path feels uncertain. Jesus never built his relationship with people on fear. He built it on invitation. Come and see. Follow me. Rest. These were not demands. They were openings. If your love for him is real, it has responded to that invitation in your own way, at your own pace. Love grows best when it is not forced. It deepens when it is nurtured with truth, compassion, and time. There may be parts of your story you still don't understand. Chapters that feel unresolved. Prayers that were answered differently than you hoped. Jesus is not threatened by these realities. He is present within them. Love does not mean pretending everything is fine. Love means bringing what is real into the light. When you do that, healing begins quietly, steadily, without spectacle. Let your heart remember this. Faith is not a straight line. It is a relationship. Relationships grow through conversation, through listening, through shared silence. Some of the most meaningful moments happen when no words are spoken at all. If your love for Jesus is real, you have experienced those moments, the stillness that feels full rather than empty, the calm that doesn't depend on circumstances. As you continue listening, allow gratitude to rise naturally. Not forced gratitude, not performative gratitude, but the kind that comes from realizing you have been carried through more than you thought you could handle. Grace met you there. It met you again and again. That grace is not finished with you. It continues to shape your days, soften your reactions, and remind you that you are held. This message is not here to rush you toward change. It is here to anchor you in truth. Real love transforms slowly, from the inside out. It changes how you listen, how you respond, how you forgive, how you rest. When love is real, it shows up consistently, even when it feels quiet. Stay with that quiet. Let it strengthen you. Let it guide you. What you are building here is not fragile. It is rooted. And what is rooted grows, even when you cannot see it yet. God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because love that is real does not end where comfort ends. It continues where strength feels thin and where answers feel distant." If your love for Jesus is real, it has already walked with you through moments when you didn't understand what he was doing, yet something within you chose to trust anyway. That choice was not weakness. That choice was devotion taking a deeper shape. There are seasons when faith feels bright and alive, and there are seasons when it feels like a quiet ember hidden under ashes. Jesus sees both. He does not measure your love by how loud it is, but by how faithful it remains when no one else is watching. The quiet prayers you offered without words, the sighs you released when language failed you, the pauses you took just to breathe and keep going, those moments speak louder than declarations ever could. You were never asked to carry perfection. You were asked to carry honesty. And honesty often looks like admitting you are tired, confused, or uncertain, while still choosing not to turn away. That is where love matures. That is where faith grows roots instead of wings. Roots hold you steady when storms arrive. Roots keep you grounded when emotions rise and fall. Jesus does not rush you because he understands the pace of healing. He knows that some wounds need gentleness, not pressure. Some lessons need repetition, not force. If your love for him is real, you have felt this patience working in your life. You have noticed how he meets you where you are instead of demanding that you become someone else first. Think about how often you have been protected from what you didn't see. How many moments turned out differently than you feared. How many times peace arrived quietly after chaos tried to settle in. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that love has been surrounding you even when you were unaware of it. Jesus does not announce his care loudly. He demonstrates it consistently. There is a reason this message asks you to pause. Pausing creates space for clarity. When you slow down, you begin to hear what your heart already knows. You remember that your faith has survived disappointment, delay, and doubt. You remember that you are still here, still believing, still open. That persistence did not come from willpower alone. It came from a relationship that kept calling you back to center. Love becomes deeper when it learns how to wait. Waiting does not mean nothing is happening. It means something is forming beneath the surface. While you waited, patience grew. Compassion softened your responses. Understanding replaced judgment. These changes may not feel dramatic, but they are powerful. They shape who you are becoming. Jesus never asked you to compare your journey to anyone else's. He knows your story intimately. He knows where you started, what you've endured, and how far you've come. Your love does not need to look like anyone else's to be valid. It needs to be genuine. And genuine love is always personal. You may still carry questions. You may still feel unresolved emotions. That does not disqualify you. It qualifies you for deeper connection. Love that has never been tested remains shallow. Love that has been tested learns how to hold on with grace instead of force. It learns how to trust even when clarity is delayed. As you continue listening, let go of the pressure to feel something extraordinary. Let yourself feel present instead. Presence is where transformation begins. When you are present, you notice small shifts. How your reactions change, how your heart softens, how your perspective widens. These shifts are signs of growth, even if they feel subtle. Jesus is not distant from your everyday life. He is present in your routines, your conversations, your quiet moments. Love that is real shows up in ordinary places. It shapes how you speak to others, how you treat yourself, how you rest when you need to. It teaches you that faith is not an escape from reality but a way to live within it with hope. There is strength in continuing. Strength in listening again. Strength in choosing reflection over reaction. If your love for Jesus is real, it has already changed you more than you realize. It has given you resilience. It has taught you empathy. It has shown you how to keep going without hardening your heart. Stay with this flow. Let it remind you of what has been forming quietly inside you. What is growing is not fragile. It is steady. And what is steady lasts. God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because what you have been walking through was never meant to break you, it was meant to reveal the depth of love you already carry." If your love for Jesus is real, it has endured more than moments of inspiration. It has survived silence, waiting, misunderstanding, and seasons where answers did not arrive on time. That endurance is not ordinary. That endurance is sacred. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey where faith stops being something you talk about and starts becoming something you live. That moment is often quiet. It does not arrive with noise or spectacle. It arrives with acceptance, with a deep breath, with a realization that even when things did not unfold as expected, you were still held. Jesus has been walking with you not only in your prayers but in your pauses, not only in your praise but in your questions. And he has never once mistaken your questions for a lack of love. Real love grows when it learns how to remain open without demanding control. You learned this slowly. You learned it when you wanted clarity but received peace instead. You learned it when you asked for certainty but were given strength to continue without it. These were not detours, they were lessons shaping your inner life. Jesus was teaching you how to trust without conditions, how to rest without explanations, how to stay connected even when outcomes were unclear. There is a tenderness in the way Jesus meets those who love him sincerely. He does not overwhelm you with expectations. He does not pressure you into becoming someone else. He gently invites you to keep walking, to keep listening, to keep choosing compassion over fear. If your love for him is real, you have felt this invitation again and again, pulling you back toward peace when anxiety tried to take over. Think about how your heart has changed. You may still feel emotions deeply, but you respond differently now. You pause more. You reflect more. You choose understanding over reaction. The love has been reshaping you from the inside, teaching you how to carry grace not only for others but for yourself. Jesus knows the weight you have carried silently. He knows the responsibilities you accepted without recognition. He knows the sacrifices you made that no one else saw. None of this has been invisible. None of it has been wasted. Love that is real leaves marks on the soul, not scars, but strength. Strength that allows you to keep believing even when circumstances test your resolve. There is a reason you were asked to pause for 1 minute. Pausing interrupts the rush of fear, comparison, and distraction. In that pause, truth has room to surface. And the truth is this: you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not weak. You are becoming someone whose faith is rooted, someone whose love is steady, someone who understands that connection with Jesus is not about perfection but presence. As you move forward, you will notice that clarity arrives differently now. It comes less as sudden answers and more as calm confidence. It comes as quiet assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. Love that has matured does not need constant confirmation. It recognizes itself through peace, through consistency, through the ability to remain grounded even when life feels uncertain. Jesus is not asking you to do more. He is asking you to stay open. To keep listening. To keep choosing kindness. To keep trusting the work that is happening within you. What is forming now will last longer than anything built on urgency or fear. It will guide your decisions, shape your relationships, and steady your heart in moments when emotions rise. You are not walking alone. You never were. Every step you took in doubt was matched by grace. Every pause you took in confusion was met with patience. Every moment you chose love over withdrawal mattered more than you realize. This is what real love looks like when it is lived, not just spoken. Let this final moment settle within you. Let it remind you that your journey has meaning, that your faith has depth, and that your connection with Jesus is alive and growing. You do not need to rush away from this truth. Carry it with you. Let it influence how you move, how you speak, how you rest. Love that is real continues quietly, steadily, faithfully. If this message spoke to your heart, don't let it end here. Like this video to affirm what you felt, comment your reflection or prayer below so others can feel less alone, share this message with someone who may need a quiet reminder today, and subscribe to stay connected with more messages that strengthen faith, peace, and purpose.